Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we discuss all things financial literacy. Recently, I updated a video on building business credit, and this video will be a continuation of that video. But today, we'll be discussing Net 30 trade line accounts and how you can use them to generate a business credit score. And we'll also be doing this in 30 days. Now, if you follow these exact same steps, you can establish a solid foundation that will qualify you for huge loans, high limits, and business credit cards in 2025. And I've personally used all of these accounts that we're going to discuss today, and we're going to be going from Tier 1 Net 30 accounts. We'll also be talking about some revolving lines of credit, and then we're also going to be talking about the easiest vendors to get approved for and the fastest way that you can establish a solid business credit profile in 2025. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Before we can generate business credit scores, we need to understand what a good business credit score actually is. In the previous video, we discussed the most important business credit scoring models, and that was the Experian IntelliScore and the Small Business Credit Score, the Dun & Bradstreet Paydex Score, the Equifax Business Payment Index, as well as the Credit Risk Score. And for today, I'll also include the Fico SBSS Credit Score, just as one that I would like to mention. It's very important for you to understand what the SBSS credit score is and exactly how that'll help you in the future. Now, once you establish 3 to 5 Net 30 accounts, as well as maybe 1 to 2 vendor trade lines, then you're going to be able to generate a business credit score. So let's start with Experian Business. Experian's business credit score is a tool that predicts the likelihood of a business becoming seriously delinquent, and it ranges from 0 to 100, with lower scores indicating a higher risk. This score helps lenders, vendors, and other business partners assess your risk associated with extending you credit or doing business with a particular company. Now, a score of 81 or higher is generally considered a good score, indicating low risk of delinquency, no default on payments, and this is pretty much where we would like to be and where we will be. 91 to 100 is minimum risk. 81 to 90 is low risk. Scores between 51 and 80 may be subject to higher funding rates from lenders, so higher interest rates, and scores 50 and below may find that funding and approval is very difficult. Experian doesn't have a set number of business scoring models, but rather a series of models, including the IntelliScore Plus. They also have the IntelliScore Plus V2, and the latest one is V3. Now, there are also versions that are old, like the commercial IntelliScore and the small business IntelliScore, which is the one that we're looking at right now. I don't need you to actually know all the different models, because the only one that we're going to be focusing on is the small business score. But I just wanted you to be aware that there are multiple scoring models, just so that you understand exactly what they are if you come across them. The next score that we're looking at is the D&B Paydex score. Now, this was developed by Dun & Bradstreet, and this is a business credit score that also will range from 1 to 100, and it's used to assess a company's payment history and credit worthiness, with, of course, high scores indicating better payment performance and lower risk. High risk scores will be anything from 0 to 49, medium risk is 50 to 79, and of course, low risk is 80 to 100. When you establish business credit, if you have like 3 to, let's say, 5 to even 7 vendor trade lines and maybe some Net 30s, as long as they report on time, normally you start at 80. So for everyone, as long as you have enough accounts that are reporting and you pay them on time, you will start out with an 80. Paydex scores are primarily used in business-to-business decisions like large corporations or even mom and pop shops, government agencies. They all use Paydex scores as one factor in assessing their risk of being paid late or not being paid at all. And once again, the name of the game is 80 or above. As long as you're at 80 or above, it will indicate that you pay all of your business expenses or bills or accounts on time. Now, to establish a Paydex score, you must obtain a DUNS number, which stands for Data Universal Numbering System. Without a DUNS number, you will not be able to generate a Paydex score. This process is completely free. It can take up to 30 days, but recently, when I've done this process, it's only taken me about 5 days to get my DUNS number. This seems to vary on the demand of businesses that are trying to acquire this particular number. So if it's not a large volume, you should be able to get this fairly quickly, but just know it can take up to 30 days. I have an entire video dedicated to showing you this process. If you would like to watch that, I'll link it above here, and you'll be able to see step by step how you can get your DUNS number. Now, your Equifax Business Credit Report actually offers 3 scores. A payment index score, again, 0 to 100, like the ones that we've been talking about. This is going to be the main one that we're going to focus on, but they also have a credit risk score of 101 to 992 and a business failure score. Each of these will assess a different aspect of your business financial health. Now, payment index score, once again, reflects payment history, with the higher score indicating a lower risk of late payments. The credit risk score will assess the likelihood of a business becoming severely delinquent on payments, with higher scores indicating lower risk, and the business failure score will predict the likelihood of a business closing within a 12-month period, with higher scores indicating a lower risk of failure. You can typically call your scores good in each of these models if you have 556 in the credit risk score section, 90 in the payment index score section, and 1,315 in the business failure score section, respectively. So these are the good ranges that you would like to be in. And once again, if I had to pick one scoring model that you can focus on, it's the payment index score. Again, very similar to all the other ones as far as the range goes, but you just want to make sure that you are in 90 for that respective score. The final scoring model that we're looking at for today's video will be the Small Business Scoring Service, also known as your Fico SBSS score. And this is a small business credit score that's actually used by a lot of lenders. It was created by the Fair Isaac Corporation, same company that created your FICO scores that all 3 major personal credit bureaus use. So a lot of banks actually lean on this model, but you barely ever hear about it. Many entrepreneurs have never heard of it. In part, it's traditionally been hard to access. But the Fico SBSS score will range from 0 to 300, with 300 being the highest score, and that's going to be a very, very low risk. SBA small loans require the lender to pre-screen your application using the Fico SBSS score. I have an entire video that's dedicated to SBA loans. If you're interested, I suggest that you watch that. It's a very detailed video and will definitely give you a lot of insight on this particular scoring model. The current minimum SBSS score for a 7A small business loan is 155, but I recommend that you be at 160 or above. That's typically what you need for approvals. And the score is calculated using your personal FICO score and your business credit reports. And this is why I stress the importance of structuring your business and establishing a business credit score, because once again, just simply having a good personal credit score will only get you so far. So now that we understand each of our business credit scoring models, let's break down how we'll accomplish generating these scores in 30 days. Now, to recap, you want to have at least an 80 Paydex score, an 80 Experian score, and a 556 or 550 Equifax Business score. Really, that range is pretty good. You also want to have a 90 for the Equifax Payment Index score. So before you start applying for business credit, you really want to make sure that you have generated your score. And again, we'll do this very easily. We're going to be using 4 net 30s, 2 revolving accounts, and 1 installment account in order to do this. And this will result in 7 accounts that will report to Experian Business, 6 that will report to Equifax Business, and 7 that will report to Dun & Bradstreet. You follow this guide step by step. You will establish a business credit score in 30 days. And I believe that's the fastest time frame that it could take. However, it can be up to 90 days for everything to fully report and be generated. It depends on how soon you jump on this. Like, for example, if you don't have a Paydex score yet, it's going to be very hard for you to establish a score. That's one of the first things I recommend you doing, is getting that. Otherwise, the process is prolonged. The first business trade line that we're going to talk about is NAV. And NAV is a business credit monitoring service. Now, there are so many reasons why I recommend that you have this. The main one being you'll be able to track your scores when you have NAV, so you'll actually know when your business credit scores have been generated. It's very, very useful in order for you to do that. And NAV has two products that you really want to access. One of them is the NAV account itself, and then the NAV Prime card. And we'll discuss both of these and how they will report to your business credit bureaus. NAV will have a few different options for trade lines that you can choose from. I'm just going to recommend this one right here, NAV Prime. It's the $49.99 plan, and we'll talk about what you get with that. So you actually get 5 credit scores, alerts, and reports. You get it from Dun & Bradstreet, from Experian, from Equifax, and from TransUnion. So all 3 business credit bureaus, you will be able to generate a score. You'll also get 1 trade line to build your business credit. That's just for starting the membership. So that $49.99 will report as a business trade line to all 3 business bureaus. Now, the second trade line to build your business credit is going to be the NAV Prime card. This will report as a revolving credit line to your business credit bureaus. Just with this one account, you are able to get 2 trade lines to report to each of the business credit bureaus. Now, I do want to talk about a few things here when it comes to trade lines. You need trade lines to build business credit. NAVs are designed for small businesses. And then this one will help you establish your profile like we just talked about. And it only reports positive payment history. That's the one thing that I really love. It will never be negative when you're using NAV. And you can use your NAV Prime card basically like you would use any other credit card. There's no credit check, no deposit, no personal guarantee. It adds that second trade line, and it's a charge card, so it's no risk of carrying a balance. Essentially, it links to your bank account, and you can make payments like you would with a debit card, and then it'll just pay from your account. So it's completely headache-free. You get to track all of your scores, and you also get nice alerts and credit building tips, as well as right here, Fico SBSS score. You can access the blended business and personal score that's used by 7,500 plus SBA lenders nationwide to pre-screen you for loans. And NAV is the only place that you can see this score. Remember, I said most of the time entrepreneurs weren't even aware that this existed. You can actually see it by using NAV. So if you got nothing else, this is the one that I would highly recommend because it pretty much will be the foundation for everything that you can possibly need when it comes to building business credit. If you would like to join NAV, there is a link below. Click on that and you can join today. The next Net 30 trade line that we're looking at is going to be with Ecredable, and there are 2 plans that are being offered. There is the Business Lift and there is the Business Lift Plus. Jumpstart your business credit by automatically reporting your Ecredable Business Lift subscription. This will add a trade line to Dun & Bradstreet, to Equifax, and Experian. Plus, it'll report any additional accounts that you already pay for to Equifax to build your business credit. Now, if you decide to do the Business Lift Plus, in addition to building your business credit, you can leverage the information in your accounting package to power 7 key financial ratios and metrics. I don't think that you need the Business Lift Plus. I recommend just using the Business Lift. With the Business Lift, it's $19.95 per month, but it has a really cool additional feature. You can link an unlimited number of eligible accounts to report to multiple business credit bureaus simultaneously. The only drawback is they will only report to Equifax and they will only report to CreditSafe. And if we go down here, so this is what we're looking for: automatic and on-demand reporting. Ecredable reports to multiple business credit bureaus simultaneously. Now, when you add on any additional, it'll only report to Equifax and CreditSafe. What we're looking at is 1 reporting to all 3, to Equifax, to Dun & Bradstreet, to Experian. So that will give us now 3 for all of them, but you also get 1 more for Equifax. So for most of you, if you followed my structured business video, then you know that I recommend having a virtual address. One of the things that I love about Ecredable is that if you do have a virtual address, you can link that to here and they'll report that as an additional trade line to Equifax Business. So this would now put you at 3 for Experian, 3 for Dun & Bradstreet, and 4 for Equifax Business. And if you want to learn more about the Ecredable on-demand account verification, there is an FAQ page that you can click on when you go to the website, but it just lets you know all of the different types of accounts that you can report, such as office, warehouse, storage or rentals, furniture, equipment leasing, business insurance, payroll, advertising. So like even ADP, if you were using that to do your paycheck stubs, then this is something that can be reported. I do want you to keep in mind that they are very, very strict when it comes to that verification process. So you just want to make sure that you have all the correct information, or the on-demand account will not report. However, for the $19.95, you will guaranteed get 1 report to each of the bureaus. The next Net 30 account that we're looking at is Shirtsy. Now with Shirtsy, you can create apparel or designs for your business. Applying for their Net 30 account is very simple. On the website, you can click apply for Net 30, and then you'll be able to create your account, add all of your business information, and you will have to pay a fee of $99. Even though you pay that fee, that is not what gets reported. You have to actually place an order with Shirtsy and pay for it in order for you to get that Net 30 account to report. With Shirtsy, it does report to all 3 business bureaus. By adding this Net 30, you now have another account that will report to Experian, which will put you at 4. Equifax will be at 5, and Dun & Bradstreet will now be at 4 accounts. I just logged into my Shirtsy account. It has been a long time. I really haven't used it that much, but it says your Net 30 account is approved and you can view your terms. But it also says right here, my current cash spending limit is $400. My total trade line value is $1,800. So it will report $1,800 for my trade line to all 3 business bureaus, with $400 being the limit that I can actually use to order something from here. But if you want to order things like t-shirts, business cards, anything like that, you can go on here, you can design it with your company logo, anything like that. It is on the expensive side, but if you just want to get something to hurry up and just get your Net 30 going, you want to make a hoodie, something like that, then, do it one time, get the apparel, and then just never use it again. You really only have to use these Net 30s like maybe 1 or 2 times. Nav, I would say, is a good one you might want to keep, but the rest of them, maybe 1 or 2 times, just until your score is generated, and then you're good to go. But I mean, if you're interested in this stuff, I've actually made a lot of stuff with them when I really didn't have much credit established. I did eventually find out that, this is pretty expensive for all this stuff. But in the beginning, it is pretty cool, especially when you're just trying to make some apparel and do something really quick for your business. The next account that we're looking at is the AtoB gas card. This is also a revolving line like the NAV Prime card, but it works essentially the exact same way. So if we scroll down here, the one that you're going to be looking for is the AtoB Unlimited. Now this is a pre-funded fuel card that you're going to use. You get approved regardless of your credit score, and you build small business credit when you do so. Now there is an average discount of 45 cents, but up to $2 off per gallon on truck and diesel fuel, and then 5 cents a gallon on unleaded gas purchases with the AtoB discount network. And I logged into my AtoB gas card account. As you can see here, it did change at some point. This was prepaid, but they did offer me a line to actually get gas with. It's $500, but it works pretty much the exact same as any other, like, let's say, prepaid card, where I use it, then it automatically draws on my account to pay it after I've used it. The AtoB fuel card has a $35 account setup fee, a $15 monthly fee for 1 to 5 cards, and there's an additional $3 per month for each card beyond that, with an optional $3 per month for AtoB Premium. So just understand there will be some additional cost. There will be some additional fees if you decide to keep this card or get more of them as well. Now with the AtoB gas card, that will give us 5 accounts that report to Experian, 5 that report to Equifax, and 4 that report to Dun & Bradstreet. So let's move on to the next account. Our next account is Credit Strong for Business. Now this one I will not spend too much time on because I have an entire video on this product. If you would like to watch that, I will link that as well. But this one is going to be your installment loan. And you can look at the plan breakdown for, let's say, the 25-month business credit builder, or you can also look at the 50-month. There's small amounts of, let's say, $100 per month for a $5,000 credit builder. But again, I've gone over this in a video if you want to get more details about that. For Credit Strong, this account will report to Equifax Business, and it will also report to Experian Business, which is good. This would bring us to 6 accounts for Experian, 6 for Equifax, and then we'd still be at 4 for Dun & Bradstreet. Before I talk about this next net 30, I do want to say that to generate each of these scores, 5 trade lines, 4 trade lines would be enough. I believe for Experian and Equifax, you need just 3, and for Dun & Bradstreet, you need just 3 as well. So just those alone would help you generate a score. But I do want to give you a few more just so that you have some options. Everyone probably has heard about Uline. A lot of people have used this for a very long time. They have shipping materials. They have warehouse equipment. They have all these supplies. Most businesses use Uline in order to get a lot of their stuff. Even my last job where I worked, there was a little thing where you could order stuff from Uline. Now, it's very simple to establish your Net 30 account with Uline. You can go to this section or this portion of the Help Center on the Uline website. For new customers, you can use your customer number from the back of your catalog when prompted. Select Invoice Me during the checkout process. Qualified business customers will receive a Net 30 billing account, which allows for payment within 30 days of receiving the invoice. If you're an existing customer, which you can just sign in and register, if you go online and use your customer number, then you can request a net billing account if qualified and select Invoice Me during the checkout process. However, I will say that for a lot of people with a new business, normally your business has to be somewhat already established. I would say like 60 to 90 days in order for you to do this. So I do want to mention that before you actually try to use Uline. They may not be able to create an account for you if they can't find your business. And if it's brand new, this is one of those companies where they need to actually be able to find your business and see where it's at in order for them to provide you one of these accounts. So you may not be able to get this in the first 30, maybe after 60. But like I said before, the previous ones that we had would work fine for you. Uline reports to Experian. It also reports to Dun & Bradstreet. So if you did decide to use Uline, you would then have 7 accounts reporting to Experian, 6 accounts reporting to Equifax, and then there would be 5 accounts that report to Dun & Bradstreet. Now, the last Net 30 account on our list is going to be Quill. Now, Quill is a company that is a subsidiary of Staples. So very similarly to Staples, they have everything that you could think of. They have coffee, they have detergent, they have office supplies, they have toner, ink. A lot of people would find this like similar to a regular convenience store. So there's a lot of things on here that you can actually find useful that you can order. But how you request this Net 30, you want to select apply for Net 30 terms. As long as you have a payment amount that's $100 in your cart, then you can qualify for the Net 30. You'll also be asked to complete a form with your business details. You want to fill out that form, and then upon submission, you'll receive an instant decision on whether or not you are approved. Once you're approved, then you can confirm your order and ship. And if you need more help, then you can contact a team member who can help you with that. Now, if you're not approved, business can establish a payment history by completing their orders with a credit card for 90 consecutive days to be re-reviewed for terms. So here's the thing. This one, just like Uline, unless you have a business that they can actually find, again, if you make a brand new business, day one, you're not able to do the exact same thing with Quill and Uline. So this one would take time. If you're not approved right away, they want you to use with a credit card their services for 90 consecutive days, so 3 months. And then on month 4, you can actually invoice something, but then it can take up to 90 days for the information to report when using Quill. So just know that this is an extra one that you guys can have. It wouldn't really meet that 30-day minimum that you're looking for, but if you don't mind, as Quill only reports to Dun & Bradstreet. But that would give us a very good amount of accounts that report to all 3 of our major business bureaus, and this will be all that you need to generate a very high business score. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. That is all of our net 30 accounts, revolving accounts, and installment accounts that you would need to generate a business score with all 3 of the major business bureaus. If you guys have any questions about this, please drop it in the comments below. You should find in the description links to a lot of these. There's one for Shirtsy, there's one for Nav. You're going to see all of the accounts more than likely in the description below. And if not, just make sure that you go to their website, read all the details. As this video ages, some things might change. So I do want to make sure that you're aware of everything that's going on. That way you're not paying anything that you were unaware of or maybe could not have been mentioned. So definitely always check all the details and make sure that nothing has changed. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video, and you guys have a wonderful day.